back on a part 2 on, I'm going to do a little bit of a special on, I did soul transfers a little bit, and big shout outs to John Lear again. I talked to him and everything, and I want to go into some of the little things that are going on the moon, and I know John was talking about Damaso, one of the cities on the moon. And, the moon has always been a controversial, subject. People don't know what's going on with the moon, is there really things going on there? And apparently there is a lot going on. I knew about it a long time ago, that there were the Greys and everything, and they had a whole space program on the backside. But the front of the moon also, Damaso, like I said, there's a big city there, and there's, I don't know if it's, how many exactly, I think it's 200 billion people on there, different races and stuff. But apparently the moon was towed in by an electromagnetic vehicle. It was towed in a while ago back, about I don't know if it goes back to 15,000 years ago. I don't know exactly the year on. I remember. But a lot of weird shit going on and stuff, and in the craters and stuff. There was actually NASA bombed the moon a while ago. There's been a lot of crazy shit going on in the moon. I don't know if I believe everything I hear, but I do know that what's going on the moon is fantastic stuff that's going on. I know for a fact John is accurate about it, and he did a lot of stuff on what's going on and stuff. But I wanted to also talk about, if I remember correctly, Newton's law of inverse square that John was talking about, which shows exactly, if you know the neutral point and the distance, you'll be able to find the gravity of what the moon is and everything. And that's actually a good figure to look at, because John was talking about that. And Einstein's theory was all wrong and everything like that. And it's just a bunch of crap and stuff. But actually, if you knew the neutral point, and you know the distance, you can find the gravity of what the moon was. And the moon was actually 64% gravity of Earth. So basically you need to be decompressed if you're visiting the moon. The gravity's not quite as much. You need to be decompressed before you come back to Earth. So it's kind of interesting about that. But just to see that there's races up there and stuff, and NASA, there's, like I said, the Draconians had bombed one of the craters on the moon. There was a war going on, and they hit it with a nuclear torpedo. I don't know. I think it was some type of fission nuclear torpedo was hit and messed it up. That happened a while ago back. And I don't know if it was NASA that bombed the moon, or there was a war going on between the Draconians. Because the Draconians, I guarantee one thing, folks, the Dark Fleet, the Orion fleet, the Dark Fleet that stays in Earth's orbit, never comes down. The Orion, from the Orion constellation, this secret fleet, sits above Earth all the time and never comes down, and it just sits up there. I guarantee it. And but anyway, let's just move on a little bit. I wanted to cover some other stuff. With some other things dealing with the space program, and I was going to talk a lot about, which caught my eye, was the Kingman crash, Kingman, Arizona crash. And there was this guy, and he's talked about in some of the news stories. I never met the guy. I don't know who he is, but he was supposedly his name was Dan Burish, I think it was, or something like that. He was a microbiologist with a PhD, and actually went to this containment sphere. Like I said again, there's a lot of stories that come out, and you can't really corroborate anything. You don't know, but it's a very fascinating story to hear about, to say the least. If he's accurate or not with it, it was pretty intriguing to hear what he had to say. And I was also following some other stuff, which is interesting. Was some stuff with what's his name? Ben Richards was a captain in the military too, that was also apparently framed and put in jail. And it was an intriguing. I put it on my page. You can see some of the information on it. But the stuff I deal with, folks, is pretty much factual from what I've experienced. Even I've been civilian in the military for quite some time, and I do all kinds of civilian contracting for the U.S. I did, at least at one point. I don't do it anymore. Worked on servo controls for cyborgs for the U.S. and pretty wild ass stuff I was doing, but did all kinds of stuff for them. And I had an ultra when I was working, ultra clearance when I did stuff. So I just pretty much keeping myself. I don't make too much of a ruckus. I'm not a whistleblower or an activist and stuff, but I've witnessed some weird stuff happening in my life from where I worked and the experiments that were done on me. And I do see a lot of stuff happening in my life that is being influenced by the government and stuff. And it doesn't faze me either way. It doesn't make me look down at them. I get angry with these fucking people, but nothing I can really do about it. I just go along with the program. But technology intrigues me all the way, because that's all I was technology orientated. That's all I dealt with technology. So when something comes out, it always sparks my interest, and I'll go ahead and do something with it. But as I covered in the other video I just did a few minutes ago on this stuff, the documentation stuff that was taken from Baghdad, and the crazy stuff going in the cloning factories that are going on in the Middle East. And I wanted to go into, not in Cairo, but there was one, I believe, in Saudi Arabia, a secret cloning facility, and they're doing a lot of cloning there as well and stuff. So a lot going on in the world. Like I said, I went to the Middle East this weekend and stuff, and saw some stuff that, it was just really mind-boggling and really weird to see a different race of people change in front of your fucking eyes. And it's almost like fake looking, but it's not fake. And these people wear masks because they don't want you to see their face. And you can see what these people look like. You can see they're uglier than daylights. The Draconians are so fucking ugly, and they're nasty fucks. If you get to see what they really look like. And they mask themselves and they cover themselves, but the military knows what they're up against. The resistance are the Dracos, and they've been in the Middle East for a while fighting and doing all kinds of clandestine stuff going on in the Middle East. Like I said, people just don't know about it. If you're there and you see it, you'll see things happen that you won't believe your eyes. Some of the stuff that they're fighting, and it's not just about land, oil, gold. There is a war going on over technology and over getting rid of the resistance. And the resistance is not the people that live in the Holy Land. It's something invading the Holy Land. They have something going on other than that. I'm going to sign out, folks. You can't understand it till you see it, but have a good evening. Bill signing. Peace out, folks. The world's not what we think it is.